Namaste, dear Hindu brothers and sisters. Today we examine Holi and what we modern Hindus can learn from it. Let's begin. For many people today, Holi is understood as a festival of colors joyful, playful, even chaotic. Streets fill with powders of red, yellow, and blue. Friends laugh, families gather, music plays. But beneath the colors lies something deeper. Holi is not merely celebration, it is instruction. If you listen carefully, this reflection will refine your ability to recognize dharma in the rhythms of everyday life. Festivals in the dharmic tradition were never designed as entertainment alone. They were civilizational teaching tools, moments in the year when society pauses and remembers a principle that sustains life. Holi asks a quiet but profound question: what ultimately prevails in the human world? Power, fear, or dharma? The answer to this question is woven into one of the most famous narratives of the Puranic tradition, the story of Prahlad, Hiranyakashipu, and Holika. But before we rush to the story, it is worth asking something more fundamental. What do we believe festivals are meant to do? Are they simply occasions for enjoyment? Or are they reminders of how one should live? Let us explore. Let us begin with a simple question: what is the purpose of a festival? Pause for a moment. Many modern answers might arise. A festival brings people together. A festival provides joy. A festival preserves cultural identity. All of these answers have some truth. But in the dharmic framework, festivals serve a deeper purpose. They encode philosophical lessons into collective memory. Rather than teaching ethics only through books, the civilization embeds teaching into ritual, story, and seasonal rhythm. Holi is a perfect example. It occurs at the end of winter. The agricultural cycle begins to shift. The earth renews itself, and the human community is invited to remember something essential. That renewal requires the burning away of arrogance and tyranny. This is why the night before Holi is marked by Holika Dahan, the ceremonial fire. Have you considered why fire appears in so many dharmic rituals? What happens when a society periodically remembers that adharma eventually destroys itself? Notice how different this is from modern entertainment culture. Modern culture often celebrates power, dominance, and spectacle. Holi celebrates something else entirely: the quiet resilience of dharma. Let us ask another question. Why does Holi begin with a bonfire? What does the burning of Holika symbolize? Several modern explanations are often offered. Some say it marks the arrival of spring. Some say it is simply a symbolic destruction of negativity. These interpretations are not entirely wrong, but they remain incomplete. The deeper meaning comes from the story of Prahlad and Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu was a powerful king who believed himself invincible. Through austerities, he obtained great power and demanded that all beings worship him. But his own son Prahlad refused. Prahlad remained devoted to Vishnu. This was not merely a religious disagreement. It was a confrontation between ego and dharma, between domination and devotion. Unable to break Prahlad's faith, Hiranyakashipu sought to destroy him. His sister Holika, who possessed a boon protecting her from fire, attempted to burn Prahlad by sitting with him in a blazing pyre. And yet the story turns. Holika burns. Prahlad survives. The fire consumes arrogance but leaves devotion untouched. Pause and reflect on this. What protects Prahlad? Is it physical strength? Political power? No. It is steadfast alignment with dharma. Have you considered how often human societies assume the opposite? That power guarantees survival? Holi gently reminds us that history frequently proves otherwise. Now we come to the most visible aspect of Holi, the colors. Let us ask another question. Why does the festival that commemorates the destruction of tyranny end with such joyful play? Why colors? A common answer might be simple. It is celebration, the victory of good over evil. And yes, celebration is certainly present, but the colors carry another layer of meaning. In the dharmic worldview, life is not monochrome. Existence is variegated, dynamic, and plural. The colors of Holi remind society that after the burning away of arrogance, life can flourish in diversity. Red, yellow, blue, green. Each color touches everyone. In that moment, distinctions soften. Hierarchy temporarily dissolves. Children throw colors at elders. Friends laugh at one another. Even strangers share a moment of play. Have you noticed something subtle here? Holi does not erase social order permanently, but it allows society to periodically reset emotional distance. This is an extraordinary psychological insight. What happens to a community that never releases tension? Resentment accumulates, distance grows. Festivals like Holi allow society to renew relational warmth. Notice how sophisticated the civilizational design is. Fire purifies, color reconnects. Now we ask perhaps the most important question. Why is the villain of the holy story not merely evil but arrogant? Hiranyakashipu does not simply oppose Prahlad, he demands worship. He cannot tolerate dissent. He believes power entitles him to obedience. Does this sound unfamiliar? Or does it resemble many patterns we observe throughout history? Many modern answers might interpret the story politically, but the dharmic tradition asks a more personal question. Where does Hiranyakashipu live today? Is he only a character from mythology? Or does a small fragment of that arrogance exist within each human being? Whenever a person believes, my will must dominate, my belief alone must prevail, my authority cannot be questioned, the seed of Hiranyakashipu quietly appears. Holi asks us to examine this seed. The fire of Holika symbolizes the burning of unchecked ego, and Prahlad represents something equally powerful: steadiness, faith, inner sovereignty. Notice that Prahlad never becomes aggressive. He never retaliates. He remains calm. His strength lies in alignment with dharma rather than confrontation. Have you considered how rare this quality is today? Modern culture often rewards loud certainty. Prahlad embodies quiet conviction. Let us gather what Holi quietly teaches. First, festivals in the dharmic tradition are not accidental celebrations. They are philosophical reminders embedded in the calendar. Second, Holi begins with fire because societies must periodically remember that arrogance eventually collapses. Third, the colors that follow remind us that life flourishes when rigidity dissolves and human connection is renewed. Fourth, the story of Prahlad and Hiranyakashipu is not merely mythology, it is a mirror. The struggle between dharma and ego is not confined to ancient kings, it unfolds inside every human life. Where do we react without reflection? Where do we insist on control rather than truth? Where do we allow pride to overshadow wisdom? Holi invites a quiet examination. What must be burned away within me? And what qualities deserve protection like Prahlad's devotion? Living consciously does not require withdrawal from the world. It requires sovereignty within it. Before your next significant decision, pause and ask yourself, am I living by dharma? Namaste. See you soon in another episode.